Yeah, okay, we're back. Absolutely. It's just like, here's a lovely picture. And we're good. Welcome back to the LPL, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Asterix, and this is Raz. And quickly, before we go into the next series, Raz, as we move over to Chongqing, we have to appreciate Jinu. Just that little bit extra. MVP, go.
Boom.
Yeah, he's
Let's
the man.
go. I love the fact that he was able to get MVP this time around. You know, Jinu should have been able to get in the first series. I felt like his Vladimir play was, exceptional.
Yeah.
Second time around, he was able to get a lot of team fights going in his favor and consistently making the flanks happen, right?
Yeah.
So, just imagine the Vladimir.
I don't have to imagine. It was that. He's there. Don't look at me. What were you saying?
Just imagine the Vladimir right in the thick of things in these team fights. It was happening too consistently. It was bane of Crystal's existence. Crystal just constantly had to face it.
It was rough. It was rough, but a good performance by Jinu. Congratulations for getting an MVP. Well deserved. Good series by EDG, whole-handedly. A 2-0, we then move on to FPX and LNG.
Yes.
And FPX and LNG, now this is one I've been waiting for. I say that with a lot of series these days, but I made it with this because FPX,
boom,
first team, they've secured playoffs here in the regular season.
Yes, FPX were able to accomplish that. It was versus their EDG one. And they looked damn good.
Oh, yeah.
The team was looking exceptional on that one. So not only have they found that inbuilt consistency, able to lock in first place in first split and second split now. I can't say locking. I can't say that too. I actually can't. I'm expecting them to. I'm expecting them to lock it in. I think a lot of that comes down to how RNG and Top Esports are looking consistently. And if Top Esports goes up against RNG and able to once again have another emphatic look and just stomp the competition, it's going to be on FPX that they don't start slowing the pace down.
Yes.
Because it's great that they made playoffs. Even better if they can secure a semifinals.
Comes to this matchup, right, where LNG are another big foe standing in their path. And the reason that FPX have been able to pick up some of these wins, part of it has been the jungle mid synergy, the bottom lane performing well. But you always come back to that one point in FPX, don't you? The mid laner with his dark technologies running the rift. And Raz, let's start with the most obvious one, which is the Corki Iceborne Gauntlet.
That one's a fun one.
Yeah.
You enjoy that one. Saw it in Spring Split when he went up against EDG. He was able to, honestly, go into double AD compositions. You got armor for yourself. You have the utility of the slow to immediately follow. There is a damage reduction as you go on in the game, in which, in that very same series I'm talking about, in the in one game when they ended up losing Baron, the game was going longer, went back to the Trinity Force just so he can at least get the damage back up. Those are the concern, is that you're going all in for the now. If we get the first fight, first Baron, whatever, we can clean it up, then it's more so on execution that they were able to get it going because of these early mid-game builds.
And then the other side of it is, of course, Poppy's going to take Righteous Glory. You know, that's an obvious one. But Doinb's ability to apply Righteous Glory to all these champions.
The Kassadin 2.
Yeah.
Righteous Glory Kassadin, by the way. I haven't seen it in some time, but that's the type of person that Doinb is. He hyper values utility and defensive items when he has a lead. And so we saw him picking up Poppy. Poppy's got buffed coming into 9.14. And it was already a pretty damn good pick into the Aurelia.
Yeah.
So it made a lot of sense that he went straight into the mid pick. And if you don't know Doinb, Doinb's the type of person he played the Nautilus mid before it was meta.
It's his most played champion still for this split.
And then he played, I'm still talking about before you even went meta, so people were like, what the hell is this Nautilus doing here? The Maokai mid happened in the previous LPL years. That was something. So he's the type of person that's willing to go think outside of the box, which makes him fun to watch.
It's why that Poppy was so exciting, because it was the first time we saw Poppy mid in the LPL. It fit Doinb so nicely, and you talked about the utility. Big key factor in FPX's current victories, but there's been some change-ups as well.
I will say, just from that alone, just to kind of piggyback off that one, there's always a concern because he goes towards these tank option. If the games go longer, then you lose damage. We saw that in the Poppy game, where it was going long enough, and you're like, wow, they're going to start losing this game.
Yeah.
That was a real concern. So there's always an added risk to the team, and that's just what I wanted to leave it off.
I love that we're still talking about Doinb with this team, of course, but then we transition over to the side of LNG and how this team is going into FPX.
Ah, yes.
A lot of questions here because for LNG, their last series have been hard. They're starting to shape up a little bit here in the LPL
Yep,
summer.
losing streak. Thankfully, it's to great teams.
Yes.
Losing to RNG and Top Esports is nothing to be
That's fair.
ashamed about. But the fashion in which they lost those games, especially the Top Esports game, where, you know, Plex, who's been a primary carry for the team and has been having a great split, goes into Night and then gets thrashed. Sure, he had bad lane matchups, but the way they ended up just losing full control of the map because of that, I want to be able to see the team start to regroup and go back to what made things work for them. And I think that the last series, which was the RNG series, especially when that series was far slower in comparison to the Top Esports game, showcased that this team early on in games really need to find more inbuilt communication between Plex and SofM.
Yeah.
There are too many times where there's just them not being on the same page.
And I guess today has similarities for me because LNG were a team that we hyped up coming into the split because of their reformed roster, like EDG. But then we get towards the end of the split,
Yes.
and it flattens out, which is where that EDG LNG hype starts shaping down.
Yeah, at least this time around, and it's fun when the new casters come in, because in 2018 spring, I had that iconic image. Me and Fish were looking straight at the camera. Snakes, number one.
I remember.
They were first place in that split. They were looking great in Chongqing. And then the sad thing happened where that split started to teeter off. They went straight down. You're like, oh no, what happened here? The true LNG started to come out. Same fashion now. And I just want them to make playoffs.
Yes.
An LNG in playoff is a damn good playoffs, but taking a focus towards, FPX that are joining this one. GimGoon up in the top lane, Tain in the jungle. Super carry Doinb with his technologies in the mid lane. And the bottom side of the map, it's LWX. And it's crisp. I always get mixed up with the continued change in hairstyle.
They always change it. Now, of course, coming first last split, everyone made a deal to change their hair color. They have continued that trend. They're stuck in the same hair color. I wonder if we change it again.
Well, to be fair, I mean, that was just like a full team thing, right?
Yeah.
Between Crisp and Doinb, they just changed their hairstyle without reason.
All the time.
It's just who they are. So that makes a lot of sense on that one. But focusing on towards LNG, because we
go.
are in Chongqing. This is their venue. It's Flande up in the top lane, SofM in the jungle. You got, of course, Plex in the mid lane. And rounding out their bottom side of the map, it's both Duan the support and the AD carry Asura.
Now, of course, with the Asura down in the bottom lane, usually we talk him up. He's the late game AD carry. He's the change-up. But here today, you will be happy to say that starting off, not
no.
Duan, Maestro is back.
No,
Raz. I think that's okay.
You do? I mean,
like
Maestro is a great player.
A great thrash.
Maestro is a great
Great
player.
playmaking support.
You're correct on that one. We did see a lot of Maestro in the past. Came in from OMG too.
That's right.
Thing is, man, when Duan came into the team, I want to talk about the differences between both these supports. Duan came with a lot of playmaking, roaming straight towards the mid lane and helping out SofM quite a bit. That was actually the primary reason for the early game strength, was the fact that we were seeing a lot of 3v3s, and if the enemy team didn't get a whiff of Duan ending up roaming, then that would just be a 3v2 advantage in their favor now.
I mean, Duan felt revitalized. I love Duan on this team because it was his first competitive team outside of Vici.
Yep.
Finally got to show his stuff on a different roster, and he looked great. He synergized so well with Asura.
Yeah, he really did. Let's see what SofM has to say here.
出来打优势，然后我的话，我就喜欢刷野，然后刷野比对面领先，然后打好优势。面对 FunPlus 的中野联动，就是很多队友都知道，就是打 FunPlus 就搞Doinb就行了，然后我们2个都不行就来3个，3个不行就来4个。
More
Good
people.
strategy.
Send more people.
That's great. I know a lot of teams get asked, how do they shut down the mid 2v2 of FPX? It is the first question they get asked, and each with a unique answer. This is my favorite so far.
We need more.
That's just great. Of course, SofM, I mean, a strong jungler here in the LPL.
Much like the great Stone Cold Steve Austin.
LNG
I guess we're going to have to hear from the great Tain next.
来打团这样赢，然后我们不是特别怕这种风格的队伍。今天对战 LNG， 然后跟 SofM 对决的话，就感觉他是第一圈打得很好，然后后面什么事情都有可能发生。然后我的话就都差不多吧，就没什么特别大的优点。
Relatively average.
We see this a lot where people when they come out, they want to talk themselves up, they don't. They go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But when he said anything can happen.
After his first, he's great on his first clear, but after that,
Anything is possible, baby. That's the LNG playstyle. That's the saying of LNG. Anything is possible. SofM is literally LNG.
yeah, the core identity alongside Flande, like these two have made previously Snake, now LNG, their home, their oyster. It's the team that follows around their name.
And for a lot of the usual LPL viewers, they will understand what that means. For the people that haven't seen LNG whatsoever, haven't seen SofM, his first clears are always spectacular.
Yes.
There's always purpose for what he's accomplishing. If he takes Wolf Camp first, he's moving towards a bot lane dive to get there earlier. Like, there's a lot of that. But then, literally, after first clear, after first purchase, when he comes down to the map, you never really understand. Like, it's not so much like he has a good idea going up top side, but we saw his last Lee Sin performance where, started to die nearly consistently, going back to the same positions. And so, it's actually fairly difficult to understand what SofM's goals are in the mid portion of the early laning phase. And a lot of the time, like, those are okay it's completely fine to do what he was doing if his teammates are also clued in. A lot of times you don't get to see that. So those are the mistakes of the most recent performances. It seems that Tain knows that.
He does. From my experience of SofM, my favorite part was watching him do his first clear and often seeing something like the red buff not being taken, the timers of the main buffs being spread out because SofM has other priorities in mind. He keeps the other jungler on their toes.
That's it. Yeah, I feel like he does that far more often with blue. A lot of the times,
Either buff, yeah.
Because, well, I mean, red buff, a lot of the times you want to be able to keep that one up so you can actually skirmish a lot heavily in the early game. So I don't remember with red buff being put up, but he definitely does that one pretty frequently with blue. And that's what I love to see from him. So he's definitely creative when it comes to the early rotation of his own camps. And I want to be able to see what he does going up against Tain, because he's made a point about most people on my team, should probably replace that with everybody, knows how FPX operates. It's not an excuse. And actually, one thing I want to counter that with is that was certainly the playstyle of FPX last spring. Now, they still utilize that playstyle. They just don't rely on it. That was the main point of growth I felt from FPX, is that if mid lane, if Doinb is put underneath tower, much like he did in the RNG series, and if he's like not able to move, Tain will still get LWX ahead. Yeah. There's a reason why it's actually LWX that has the most MVPs on the team. It's because he is going to be that second option, and so there has to be, a plan B for LNG.
This has consistently been happening where Doinb can't move out of his lane, and I love it. LWX and Crisp, reliable source. The Caitlyn Lux lane has been a good example of their ability to shove out, use the pressure from jungle, and put themselves in a very big advantage in the early game.
Yeah, I want to see what Chris' next support's going to be. I don't expect to see the Lux nearly as much.
Yeah, it's moved away due to the shield.
I think that Tahm Kench is a great one for him. We've also saw just in the last series, Mako pick up the Alistar, and both these support players are actually wonderful Alistar players. So I want to see what that priority is going to be. You can see the Dorito flying at your screen and the coaches looking pretty intimidating. There's only one reason for that.
Because we're going into a matchup that's important for both LNG and FPX. FPX has secured playoffs, but they want first. And LNG are trying to pull them down. So Raz, as we go into game one, what are your thoughts? This is going to be a very different pick and ban from what we saw out of EDG and OMG.
We're going to be seeing a lot of Jarvan Silas is my expectation. Just lied to you, by the way, because that's the first ban that FPX went for. Oh, and the Olaf ban too. These junglers are not allowed.
Yeah, okay, that's 2 out of 3 so far for FPX. It's been banned away towards the jungle.
Jarvan, though.
SofM plays a lot of Lee Sin too, so Jarvan Lee Sin is most played to watch going into this first game.
Yeah, the jungle priority is going to be huge, and we don't expect the jungle to be left to the second phase of pick and ban, so you'd expect Lee Ning to look towards either a J4 pickup or... thinking. Tahm Kench, I think, is a very safe first pick.
Seen a lot of Corki first pick as well up there, so Corki is here. I'm sorry, folks, they're still open. But does Plex return to something like that?
I don't think it would first pick it by any means, so I would definitely expect the support that would be able to let the composition from LNG thrive no matter what. Karma, I forgot about that still being up and available, so it is a good first pick. And Flande has been a great Karma player, so at least it's going to allow them that.
Triple Flex still there. Maestro plays, you know, Mage supports coming into his first game of the split. But do we just rinse and repeat from what we saw before? You pointed out Tahm Kench as a priority here. Well, FPX have their pick.
They lost Mr. Kenshi.
There it is.
Tahm Kench Gragas. I mean, we said that was, or at least I said.
You did. You
The Chris was gonna. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm petty. I'm petty as all hell.
It was my comment.
It was me. I said that.
What were you saying, Raz?
Stop it. The Tahm Kench would be a pickup by Chris.
Right.
I feel bad.
Okay. It's all right.
Lord have mercy.
This happens so many times. Doesn't matter.
Yes. I still want to see what FPX want to go for you know, you said the Corki was up. I think it should be a primary pick.
Yep.
Should go in both lanes, in both mid and top lane. And when Doinb's picked up, you know, meta champions, it's actually just been the go-to for him.
Yeah, okay. Well, for someone like Doinb, let's see what he's going to be going into, because LNG here has been the go-to for many other teams, but getting the bottom lane first, Asura is a magnificent Ezreal.
There's a lot of supports that are still up and available. Like, the only one that's just gotten banned now is the Yuumi. So the Karma can go through as a support. Maestro, you know, can easily play that.
Yeah.
And it works well versus the Tahm Kench. If they want to shove priority away from the Tahm Kench in potential Varus lane, then the Karma works well for that one. But you can also just look towards the many tanks like the Nautilus is still available, and Maestro's been a good one.
Ooh, that's true. I mentioned the Thresh there alongside it as well, so magnificent in both, but we're looking towards the solo lanes as FPX, the Akali taken away. That was Flande's best champion in spring. A lot more damage in the kit, but we're not going to see it today.
Yeah, we'll see what the next one should be. I would ban out the Nautilus. I think it is a very good pickup.
Yep.
And one of the major weaknesses of the Tahm Kench is certainly the fact that he won't be able to have the shield available to him. Just because, I mean, it got a heavy nerf, and also you can technically pick the Blitzcrank and just completely nullify that. We've been seeing it in both LCK, LEC. Just also, a few players going towards it.
Also remember, you can't go into the Tongue Lash for the Devour combo anymore. You got to pick one, as it takes away all stacks of acquired taste. Annoying, but you'll have to deal with it this game. Nico going to be the second ban here from FPX.
You can still go 10 Lash Devour on like certain objectives, and I think it's still a pretty damn good combination.
You still got to auto attack, because remember, it takes away stacks. You lose all stacks of acquired taste once you get the Devour/Tongue Lash. Isn't that annoying?
I think it's definitely gotten nerfed from abilities not being able to output that DPS from acquired taste. Taking a look at this, we talked about the Corki being the pickup for FPX, and now they still have some semblance of poke within their composition.
All right, we know what pairs with this nicely. You've got a Nico, Akali ban. Still need those solo laners to be resolved here for LNG in game 1. Azir, Raz, do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty good idea. They would have good priority within the early portions of the top side of the map. Let's see what it ends up being. The Braum is a pretty smart pickup. Do quite well versus the empowered Q that Valerius has in the early portions of the laning phase. Now we get to see LNG's comp in its great glory. Are we playing this one slow? Oh! Please lock it in. Please.
Plex, thank you.
Please, Plex. Yes.
No Azir. That feels good. And a Zoe to boot.
Yes. He learned this lesson going up against Knight.
Oh, he did.
You got to learn the lesson of Zoe in one shape or form, and this is the way to do it.
Nice.
Lock it in.
Knight spanked him on the back end. The Kiana there as well, so we get a bit of a different composition going into this first game.
I want to see if that's going to be the top lane Corki. Looks like that's going to be the case.
Okay.
Top lane Corki versus the Karma. It's a pretty good, nice one for Karma either way, but still. Seeing the Kiana being picked into the Zoe, how annoying is it for Zoe now? Yeah, you better go into exhaust.
Yeah.
You got a problem now.
I mean, that's rough. So Plex in another matchup where he has a potential to be bullied out. Remember, the game against Top Esports, game 1, Plex was on Azir, Knight on Zoe, and he got bootstrapped. This one is going to be Doinb with the tools to do so again.
I want to see what Zoe can accomplish here, because as per usual, Sleepy Trouble into Q. Like, those are the issues in which Qiyana will be able to have some troubles with. And the Zoe will still be able to have semblance of wave clear into the matchup. But the way Qiyana ultimately deals with a lot of lanes that can shove into her is trade in through, you know, the bush element. Bush element repeatedly. And if you end up getting, let's say, Sleepy Trouble Bubble on top of you, Bush element will be able to help you a little bit and kind of dealing with that with the initial damage from Zoe. So I want to see how the lane matchup goes. It's a nice skill matchup, but for the Qiyana, how I end up envisioning this lane, especially when you go in for all ins, Zoe ultimate, very easy for Qiyana to be able to get straight in with your E, just right on top of your head.
Yeah, super predictable. And for Doinb to pick up the Qiyana as well. First time we're going to see it from him. We've been seeing a lot of the repeat of the Nautilus mid, of pretty much standard picks for Doinb here. But spreading his wings with Tain strengthening that 2v2. I like it from FPX. It sits in with the style and it tells us a story. A team that is heading towards first place with confidence through their laners. The ability to push towards that bottom side. FPX are on a tear. And LNG standing in front of them next. What we were talking about before, Raz, is when you're in your home stadium and the away team has a stronger chant than you. As the popularity of FPX, like I said, looking for another first position as the invade comes through here from LNG. They want to find Chris when they get a Winter's Bite. This could be a flash if they get the stacks, but the range just isn't there. That'll be an evade that goes to waste as they're taking the blast cone. Let's go for the blue buff start.
Ooh, is it going to be contested though?
Plex coming in, red hot. What did he start? Probably just a paddle star. Tongue Lash going to come out. Maestro walks into them as LWX has a really good angle. They jump on one. Maestro's been tongue lashed up. The flash going to be burnt. Doinb's away. First blood over to LWX. They're continuing forward. The spike gets healed up and SofM's going to die too. LNG, get out. It's over. You're dying. Stop it. That was absolutely atrocious. They got destroyed.
Well, that escalated quickly.
That was rough.
They just didn't want to stop.
I mean, look at the level 1 of FPX. You're like, where does the damage come from? Did they even need the Corki? Well, a 4 versus 4 ended like that.
All right, let's find out who got the kills. Just remove the keystones.
Doesn't matter anymore. They're all normal.
Let's see where the gold is going.
Oh my god, perfectly across.
Yes. That's a Y-E-S yes from Doinb, LWX, and... In fact, let's continue the yes.
Yeah.
Flande, please.
I'm with you, Raz. Look at this. GimGoon, when are you going to flash? Oh! Flande just need to aim it up, but that's not his fault. That's a flash for a flash. You take that.
You take that. And the wave is pretty damn good for you, too. So even if the Corki ends up TPing right back, he's going to have to face the fear of Flande.
Karma starts out his lane. That's what you need for LNG, because straight off the back, I'll say this game is headed towards the over mark before it's begun. So now LNG have to find a lane that they can start coming back.
These are training weights, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Goku, Vegeta type of level when you in that shuttle.
I was thinking like Rock Lee, you know, like takes off the weights and boom.
You know what?
I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, man.
So you watched that
Naruto. I watched Naruto.
Kind of. Is this the next generation?
Yeah. I mean, you're not that much older than I am, eh? How old
Apparently
are you?
too old.
Okay. Well.
Oh, not old enough to like. Oh, let's go.
Okay. Level
It's not gonna be. This is not gonna work. But
yes, it is.
Are you sure about that?
No.
Oh my God! Where he come
Listen to me, Raz. Flande's gonna get the lockdown here, but GimGoon, the turnaround. He gets locked down under turret. Okay, you were right.
This is a beautiful game.
You were so darn right. GimGoon's going to die here as well as a potential. SofM's coming in with the flag. Drake comes in early, just wants to slow down Valkyrie to push out the Corki and doesn't get the kill, but Flande is set up.
So LNG is somewhat back into the game.
Yep.
Just based off that alone. The issue is still through mid. My eyes. Was already a pretty tough one for Plex past 6. Is now just going to be tough for him in general. So I just love the fact that Flande found a way for his team to make it, you know, not FFF15.
Where's Chris going? He's walking to the mid
God,
lane.
what's happening
Trouble
here?
bubble. Okay, so it is a Zoe thing. Remember, she got barrier before, so trades don't matter as we're going for a turret dive in the top lane. Flande underneath turret. What is it with junglers this game? But it's a top laner this time around. GimGoon will die as well. A 1-for-1 trade, and SofM does get the kill.
All right, I don't know what context for that one was. How they ended up looking for that dive, but yeah, Flande is going to lose a lot for that one.
Okay, Tain coming to the bottom lane as well. He's going to be spotted out there. Fat Boy charges on in, ready to body bop. Devoured up. Chris spits him out. Maestro bops against the wall, and he'll get the kill. 2-1-2.
It's been an active game.
Yeah, you could say that. That's what happens when you get 3 kills at 2 minutes, right?
We just see some level of desperation, mostly from the side of LNG that knew that they wanted to accentuate the advantage of Flande, and they've just been going for it. It's nice to be able to see, and I think Flande is going to be able to make GimGoon pay. Like the Corki going up top lane, like the idea, it's still a tough matchup for the Corki. Now we get the concept around it. I don't know why Flande took her aggro first when he was at 60% HP. That's the only thing that perplexes me. That would have been an easy dive otherwise.
Yeah.
That's the only, like for J4 too, J4 can tag you with his passive, and then when there's ever a fear of that, of his death, you can just EQ out, but okay.
So Flande drops, it means the kill goes over to GimGoon, means there's some form of a trade here for the top laner who was getting shoved out, who was getting destroyed in this lane. Suddenly GimGoon's back into the lane himself.
And now the big question that we had, straight out of level 1, is more so on how can LNG equalize across the map. Problem is now, Varus has so much sustained underneath him when already a pretty decent matchup. And a kill to his name!
Yeah. The fact that Asura and Maestro have been able to keep up in this lane is a testament, but wave shoving in, there's still a 10 CS advantage. Teleport, remember, on the Varus, so there's going to be a big back, and he's got lethal tempo. That's a late game Varus incoming.
Yeah, going straight towards the attack speed build. Blade of the Ruin King types rather than the lethality pickup, so.
Yep.
At least it's better for LNG actually early on, because if he went towards the lethality route and had that much inbuilt gold right from the get-go, Asura wouldn't be able to survive throughout the lane. You know, replay.
You can see SofM has got a target in mind. It's GimGoon with this Corki top.
Run!
Who's just backing away. The respect's there. Look, this Zoe's even walking up. So Flande now going to get the meat for his reward. But what happens bot side? Something even worse. Maestro's backed away.
Oh no, he's inching towards the turret.
He's like, maybe it's okay.
All right, I'm back. Got that wave out. But it's this wave that'll be the wave in which FPX dives on. Good luck. Actually,
Okay.
I think they're fine.
But now that the Gragas spotted out on the bot side, this dive is going to happen.
Yeah, I lied. Both dives are happening at the same time. Let's see how the GimGoon one happens.
No Cataclysm available. Flande takes it up again. He's just going to die in a turret. He heals just in time. GimGoon eventually will go down. And that was closer than it needed to be.
It just happens consistently. And Kiana's still looming over for this one, but Maestro and Asura are playing this one out well, knowing that they're just going to be consistently pushed back here.
This turret's going to go down at like 8 minutes into the game. Oh
That's
my.
a fast one.
Look at this. Let's just race. I wouldn't laugh if I were you, SofM. That was... Yeah.
That's going to fuel the enemy team.
This has been an early game that's been one of a kind, I'd say. Oh, Doinb, all in potential.
Oh,
There's
no.
Supreme display of talent. The Ignite's there. He has not enough damage, it feels, but Zoe is Zoe, and Plex sends him right back. As Flande teleports in, he flashes in, tethers him down. He's dead. Absolutely obliterated.
Nice response. TP instantly, right off that sleepy trouble bubble. I thought Plex was screwed, but of course the exhaust did so well to be able to hold Doinb down, so that early goal lead that we saw from FPX certainly diminishing based off plays like these.
I mean, he thought he had kill pressure here, or he thought he had the 100-0. Yeah.
And then right when the teleport too, so right when he comes online, the karma is already there and is able to keep that tether down.
God, Flande got it as well. This guy is now 2-1-2 with a Luden's Echo at 8 minutes in the game. Like Klepto Karma with a 30 CS lead. Make it stop.
We're cashing.
Yeah.
We are cashing out. It's 8 minutes in, of course, so FPX are going to look towards the next objective.
The top laner who's never missed a game since Snake's inception into the LPL. It's LNG moving towards the LPL as well. Is now in a very good position to show he's the best.
Usually at this stage of the game, you know, you'd see dual lanes end up rotating top lane just to be able to look for the Rift Herald that's coming up. But, you know, you'd see traded sides. This time around, FPX didn't even technically need that. They literally took the bot lane turret at 8 minutes in. So not only did they already get that lane turret, they had the wave shoved in.
Ooh,
easy one.
Flex might be in a bit of trouble. Flashes out of the way. The big one hits him in the face, and Chris just says, "How you going?" Lot going on, but not much at the same time.
I mean, Plex now cannot help the next play. FPX are already in position.
Yeah, team comes in fast. The ultimate burnt here. The Chains of Corruption sends him that way as well. LWX with a kill, and that was a quick turn from FPX.
Easy money, and guess what? We got more cash.
Yeah, the ult doesn't hit, but they launch on SofM all the same. The flag and drag out of there. Doinb still wants to chase up, but for LNG, the top lane now under threat.
Gotta love the FPX Death Squad. Essentially moving from one lane to another. They put down Plex low, knew that he wasn't going to be ready for the next fight. Hell, no one was. Cut right through the jungle to be able to get Flande underneath turret. Now, I thought they were just going to go straight towards the Rift Herald. Got so much before it even came up.
This is the second turret that LWX will be involved in with full turret platings available. Now, granted, he doesn't get it solo. It's shared with Doinb and Crisp. But the final hit of the turret's going to go down. And this Blade of the Ruin King Varus is in position to be set up for this fight as well.
All right, you want to fight us? Wait a minute, they can't get it.
But will they eventually contest for it?
Someone sacrificed themselves for it.
Ultimate not available for the Gragas, for the Varus, for Doinb as well. So this will be hard. Look at Chris. He wants it.
Gragas has he has an exit strategy.
Ooh, TP
Gragas
though
wants it.
Look at the sandwich coming in. That's a tasty burger. Tain walks in, flashes over the side. Target selection here is big, but SofM takes so long to die. Devoured up. Chris is a sacrificial lamb. He flashes out of the way. Maybe he doesn't have to die. LWX haven't spotted GimGoon out though as he's coming in. Tain dies first. They turn for the fight. Maybe they don't care. 2 already for LNG. FPX has to burn another flash in LWX and the bubble lands. Doesn't need it to hit. It's a double kill again for Flande.
I already thought it was mission complete by the side of FPX. They got what they were coming for. They just stuck around a little bit more thinking they could pick up the fight. Muddles up the entire intent, and then of course LNG is able to pick up the fight in the back half. Take a look at this. Captain Tain saw the opportunity to get straight in and not only pick up the Rift Herald, find SofM right on the back half on this one. And so just take a look at this section. The moment they can now choose to get out with the flash coming through from Chris, they choose to double down. Doinb goes straight in. Tain gets picked up when they're just bumbling around in the area, setting up for GimGoon on the flank. So they play it around with the idea that they can pick up the fight, ultimately wrong.
I'll point out there as well, whether it would have been the difference or not, Doinb misses the edge of Ixtal with Wall Element on towards the Jarvan. So SofM survives, he walks out of there and took so much damage. For LNG recuperating some of that gold, because FPX have been taking every turret left, right, and center. And with Rift Herald here, with full plating available, this is just more gold for the team that doesn't care if they die.
What a series this has been.
Yeah, we only just begun.
Wow. Just imagine, I mean, listening to both of the junglers. Tain saying, you can never predict SofM, essentially. And then SofM just coming out with the expectation this was just going to be farming. The hell was that?
What did he say? What did he say?
I told you what he just said.
No. I'm reiterating that after the first clear, who knows what?
Yeah.
I don't even think we got past the first clear until that point in this game. This is going to be another fight set up. We've already got 13 kills. Let's go again. LWX has to be eaten up, spat back out. He almost gets sniped with a troll level, and there's a lot to dodge here if you're FPX, but it comes from downtown. LNG are like full-on poke warring at the moment.
Yeah, this is a bullet hell game. And a half. FPX have to find a way to come through, and I don't think they're going to steal this.
Just send an ult out, see what happens.
No. Please, I don't want it.
Dragon's going to go down.
You need the setup.
Yeah, that's true. So, Plex as a Blade of the Ruin King. I was like, that zombie's a Blade Master. Another dragon. This time it's over the side of LNG. It's a mountain. It's a big one. Infernal's coming up next, so I don't know. The way this game's been going, who knows who that goes to at this point? It'll be contested.
What does a Blade Master even do?
You get that additional attack, you know?
I did. Ah, yeah.
You've not played enough of it.
Yeah,
Everyone's loving you as a caster right now,
I play League
right?
of Legends, okay?
So do I.
Yeah,
Play
yeah.
Udyr jungle, but then when you lose an up, what? Asura. Yeah. Hey, we saw this last series, Raz. It's just happening again.
We just need, not a death cap, but like a skin where Qiyana just gets a magical cap.
Oh, yeah.
If she's a magician, she definitely makes you disappear.
She deserves one. Wow, Flande doing a bit of damage himself, but he won't be able to defend this mid lane turret. Look at where Tain is. He's spotted out by a ward. LNG have to pay respect. And yep, that's what happens when you almost get 15 bits of turret plating. Your team picks up 2k gold.
Nearly 1,000 gold on the Varus that has been traveling.
Yes.
In fact, that's when the focus comes down towards Chris with that his 500 gold, only because he was tagging along. give the Varus all that turret plating gold.
He deserved it. He wanted to pick up his, Eye of the Watchers. This was a moment where Asura thought he felt safe.
You are a wizard, Harry. Literally
Wow.
that moment. That's why I love the Gragas Qiyana combo.
Yeah.
We saw it in Series 1. You're certainly seeing it at the beginning of this series.
Ability to travel together, and this is not a mobility Qiyana this game either. Doinb's opted in for the Mercury Treads and still doesn't have the first item. The damage is still there on the squishy carry like the Ezreal. Wait until we get towards that Dustblade of Drakthar where Doinb is going to be a menace alongside the Corki and Var.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Merc Treads here because coming into this game, it's another game where he's gone up against Zoe. He doesn't want to go into the cleanse. He wants to amplify that damage through the ignite. Zoom, get out of there. Thank you, GimGoon.
Yeah.
Zoom right out.
Okay.
But yeah, going in towards the Merc Treads makes it so much easier for him to escape a lot of the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles being set up by Plex. So makes it so Plex in the initial Sleepy Trouble Bubbles questioning himself. Okay.
Now they're going to get out of this one. That's a great layering of CC. FPX Chris in a bit of trouble. He tanks up the majority, flashes away, survives the team, sends Maestro backwards. Welcome back to the LPL, sir. He survives for now, but Tain goes golden, lures him in. Doinb jumps on in himself, takes down one. They turn to SofM as GimGoon joins the party, and the puppy dog starts firing some cats into the mix as Flande at half health. LNG have lost so much.
No one expects the double flank. In fact, triple it up. Let's see what the Gragas ends up. No, they're moving away from
Flande's overall ward, though, has to be careful. GimGoon still does a lot of damage to Trinity Force and BF. Walks away from the tether. LWX and Chris out for the party as Tain wants the body slam, forces the flash. LNG are getting caught out. FPX are playing the aggressive game.
It's tough. If you're going up against FPX and they're just constantly sending waves of flanks, let's just count them. Because at this stage, initial engage comes through from LNG. And you see Gragas coming in the back half of it. Of course, it's a great combination. Really well done from Chris to be able to save out LWX. Wonderful Gragas cast that sets him up. So this is one. You count him. And then you think this is safe. You can take on the Gragas. Oh, we sent in more people now. And then I guess it works in cognizant with GimGoon. I guess that's a third one, but I don't want to count it.
But then we pause, and then it technically counts again because he's still there.
But like, that's where the issue comes in, where LNG feels that extra bit of comfort that they can, let's say, focus down on Tain, wait a little bit more until the stopwatch dissipates, but then you forget about the fact that Qiyana is also rotated out of her lane.
I guess my takeaway from that is after the bottom lane survives, I go, well, I'm going to be looking a lot more at LWX this game. He's got his second item now, the Gwinsu's picked up, and when Doinb doesn't find the most success, when he's 2-3-3 on the Qiyana, you go, okay, you started with a kill, but it's not working out. LWX. You then turn to him and FPX, their condition is set up. Their backup is set up at 3-1-4.
LWX is doing really well, and I think that this is more so because of Tain serving these kills on a dish.
Well said.
He is really playing the game of his life here. And it's not going to stop.
Doing it again. Flande, get ready to be ulted. The supreme display of Doinb is all you saw there. Another kill over to the Qiyana, and LNG did not watch the last series.
Found himself in Harlem. That's what happened.
Was that bad?
Yes.
Okay. I've only been to New York.
All right, well.
You could say it's bad as Bankstown. Yeah, people would get that.
Yeah,
well,
I know that one.
The 1% of the audience.
I know that one. No one else does, though.
Okay.
Much like... No, I'm not going to.
Okay, all right. I know what
Much
you meant.
like your accent.
Yeah, I knew you were going
Yeah,
there. I don't know why I'm excited about it, but I knew it.
Honesty, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a pretty good game for Flande up until he's been picked off by this combo. And the fact that the whole of LNG are falling behind. FPX have a 4K gold lead in a game where, yes, they started this way, but LNG through the top side were coming back.
You need to see, once again, we're back in a situation where teams are setting up for Baron buff that's going to be coming up in 30 seconds time. I'm not really comfortable with LNG's ability to do that. So while they're setting up vision in this area, it's not going to be too effective.
Yep.
Oh no, are we bullying again?
It's just about 2 seconds too late. Flande is walking
Sit
through,
here.
but
Don't
I think
move.
this time we've gotten to the point.
Just sit.
Oh, has he got 2 items
No,
yet?
he sees his target.
Oh yeah. Now
get
Flande
that.
has a level advantage, Raz. Be careful.
Hey,
Doinb,
what's up?
Ultimate available. Is he going to send him? Yes, he does. Ignites down. It's an assassin, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's like.
I love these games.
Yeah.
Just being able to see moments like that.
Just 1 item and a half. Granted, Serrated Dirk does that, but for Doinb, you're really feeling it this game after what was a slower start.
That's 1 member down, by the way, which makes all the vision being set up by LNG
Hey, that's
effectively
true.
useless. Let's go in and take it out. Oh, they already did. Great. Now you could just essentially play a better Baron game than LNG did.
At least for the poke for LNG, they're able to push through these brushes relatively safely. Have to worry about Tain and his engage potential alongside the damage from LWX. They push into Baron, LNG get some of the vision back, but it's not enough at this point as Doinb is pushing down a turret.
Should be easy for him. At this stage, he should be able to get it and get out. Yeah, 2 more. One
Can
more.
he get
No,
it?
he can't.
Ah, he's over the wall. He'll be back.
I'll be back for more.
LNG just towards the Baron again. Okay, look at Doinb. He's doing the old circle. Yeah, he's still there.
Just don't traverse. This time I'll call it Detroit. Literally any time you walk into the red side jungle, just imagine a no-go zone.
Okay.
Fly over it.
Did you say Detroit?
Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay.
Oh, okay, let's commit.
Yeah,
Let's do
2
it.
people this time. Oh, he's backing.
Are we in Baltimore?
Okay. Do you want me to just name a city? Just join you there?
Well, it has to be. It has to have a bad reputation.
I have no idea about America whatsoever.
Anywhere in the world. If you're a Calgarian, it's Forest Lawn.
Okay. I said Bankstown. I have no idea where else is bad. Sydney. Cabramatta. There we go.
What the hell did you just say?
Cabramatta.
Yeah.
I think. I like, there's someone out there I'm offending. Like, how dare you call my place bad?
Everyone is going to, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I don't know nothing about geography. To be fair, I didn't even know I was in Shanghai until like 2 months. No, that's pretty bad. I
What
knew I
did
was
you
in
just
Shanghai.
say?
I didn't know what part of Shanghai I was in. till
Okay,
like
yeah, you better
in 6
say
months in.
that.
Yeah.
Rather than, I didn't know I was in Shanghai.
in
for
Shanghai.
2
No,
months.
no.
That being said, I think Doinb recognizes pretty clearly that he's on the wrong side
He's
of
got to
town.
get out of town, right? So he's walking away. It was the rest of LNG concentrating their focus towards the bottom side. Asura and Maestro still coming in.
Oh, who's going to hit who first?
Oh, he sees him. He pops out. Flande is going to get locked down here on Doinb. Now, the 1v1 without a wall in place is good, but for Doinb, he's just trying to buy some time. FPX are coming down.
Tom Kench coming through as well. He's going to have the
And he's
Varus.
delayed this for so long. True Shot Barrage is out. Tain
Oh.
flashes in. He misses. The explosive cast separates the Maestro has to flash over the walls. Plex is coming in as well, but FPX have their 5-man unit. The trouble bubble dodges away as FPX get the first kill onto Flande. And Plex can't get in and get the poke down. The Crucible here is set up, and LNG have to walk out.
Not only did the teleport come through, you also had Chris coming in with his own ultimate. So the squad was coming. It's just sad that you had the Kiana trapped in the bush, but she has bush element, and she's going to essentially buy as much time as humanly possible.
That was insane. There was at least 15 seconds there from Doinb. So FPX put trust in the mid lane as usual, and they come out ahead. Another big pick and setting up towards Baron with 10 seconds on the clock. There's pings going down, but what do FPX want more?
But how frustrating is that? You know,
Yeah.
Kiana finds herself in a 1v1 situation multiple times and gets an outright burst kill. You finally send 4 people her way, and she
She
buys
survives.
enough time to survive and her team comes in.
It's been one frustration after the next. It started at minute 2 here for LNG, and heading towards Infernal, they still want to take the fight. This is important because the Infernal will be double for FPX if they can get it.
Yeah, let's see what ends up happening here. GimGoon
Wow.
has a great position, and he has package too.
I think LNG, after noticing GimGoon there, are pulling away.
All right.
As you should. He still hovers around the mid lane. They're going back now. Ward will spot him out. The trouble bubble lands onto LWX, though. Look at where Crisp is. The poke's there. The damage down. The explosive cast out as well. GimGoon's still there. As SofM's disappearing. Consumption misses here, and Doinb goes into Bush Element immediately. Trouble bubble lands again, but Dragon secured. Double elemental there for FPX.
I don't know how LNG is going to be. This is a very small wave. I think this is going to be a tough one for them to focus on. Kiana's in the back, too.
Oh, yeah. Does he just cut in now? There's a control ward in that brush. Doinb walking in. Takes brush element himself. Turret still standing.
Wow, that's a ton of poke that Corky laid down on that SofM.
Can they find their way in? Crisp is still frontlining here. He's not afraid.
Doinb is just buzzing around.
They know he's somewhere. They know he's somewhere to the side.
It's like when you're trying to go to sleep and there's just a mosquito buzzing around and you're just trying to find him.
Yes.
You can't go to sleep until you kill him. But he ain't going to show himself as easily as you want him to. So.
You're like, do you put the lights on? You're going to lose so much. LNG opt in for the safe response. They go back to bed.
All right, okay.
I'd take that every time. Because you know if you turn the lights on, it's over. You're not sleeping for another hour. The mosquito has disrupted your
only
schedule.
You. It's only okay. You're the one with a, well, you have some moments of insomnia, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
But me, I literally go to sleep instantly.
But you don't sleep at all anyway. You sleep all the...
It's a choice.
Okay, all
It's
right.
a choice to stay awake.
Sure. That's actually... we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm like, I don't think it's a choice.
What?
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go to, I know what you mean, Raz. I know what you mean. I'm sorry, I'm going into the semantics anyway. That's a ultimate
You can't
burn.
tell me what's a choice.
That's an ultimate burn. And SofM flashed, Raz.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
Make a great husband someday. FPX walking into this brush. This is one moment that you need to look at. No, it's not me. This is one moment where LNG need to start preparing for, because no vision, Baron up and available. Look at Duan. He's so deep for the flank, he doesn't even know where he is.
No, he knows that he's following the Ezreal. He knows... Okay, Ezreal's teleporting, so Kiana has to come over.
Should be walking through. Ping's coming down. Doinb pings first. GimGoon
Wow.
at a quarter health with the poke. Plex gets knocked down with the Chain of Corruption. LWX has done his job, and FPX, the flank comes through. Doinb hits no one with the ult apart from Maestro, but SofM now the chase target, as Flande can do nothing but shield him. Tie Doinb down. FPX have just done it again. One quick pick.
I love the fact that Doinb sent out Bush Element there to protect the Tom Kench on the back end. Tom Kench was essentially in a position to flash.
Yeah, oh no! GimGoon almost gets poked down by Asura. This is the big Ezreal poking his way through. At least LNG off the back of losing their mid laner get the mid turret.
This is a very fun game.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, and this is one of them. Tain is always looking for a fight.
LNG seem to handle it off the back of losing one member. Asura is still very big, excuse me. Tain in a position though.
He's always looking for it. And he knows where the bushes are. This man is ghosting somehow.
So much vision control. The fact that LNG have any say towards this Baron is incredible. They've held out for long enough. FPX with a massive goal lead here in this game. Still have freedom, and LNG are going to have to fight back.
Not only is it a 7K gold lead, you have the Wits End being picked up by various, like across the board. The defensive standpoint, FPX should be able to handle a lot of these fights. It's actually going to be incredibly difficult for, Plex to have anything meaningful damage put down when Crisp is in the area too. So it's going to be difficult for them to find those picks, especially with Tain looking for something.
All the time. Body slams over, won't find his mark, but he can just reset. Doinb, there's a supreme display of talent. Stuns the jungle on the way in with the ignite down. The shielding from Flande is great, but he flashes in, he wants the kill. Bloodthirsty as always is Flande. Going to be taking the 1v1 into Doinb, whether he likes it or not. It looks like he does. He pursues no longer. And FPX, again, it's that one pick once more.
Seems like there's a pretty long death timer too. 30 seconds. My eyes don't play tricks on me on the J4.
But they want a big team fight. They don't want the Baron. They want to find this as LNG almost find GimGoon.
Roam squad here from LNG. But yeah, at least the Baron is unperturbed. It's completely fine. My concern is always FPX regrouping around Baron buff and just looking for the rush. Because SofM end up, dying in the last fight. Took a long time for him to go down, by the way.
Looking at towards the package there, observers. We take a quick look at this one. Doinb fought for lengths to find SofM.
So they find SofM on this one. I want to see how it ended up happening. I don't think we got the full vision on it, but... Also, you end up getting the first Q down. Yeah, SofM took a lot of DPS on this one.
Took
so
a
pretty
while.
easy.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. One thing that I'm going to make note on is, whenever we get into a game, there are two players that you look at and you want to dissect their builds.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be happening on the side of Doinb. His builds are completely standard. It's actually SofM. He's gone towards a Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart primarily for the double AD carry on the side of FPX, but a lot of the times you just rather want to go to the Knight's Vow.
Yeah.
Because it gives you HP.
Do you get time, Raz?
Okay.
Wow! I'm sorry to cut you off. That's what he said. But that was the best Arnold I've ever seen. GimGoon flashes away after the success story, and FPX is 5. Now proudly head towards that Baron.
Blew them up. Oh, and they won another one.
Tain just doesn't stop. Flashed away Asura. Tain comes in for the 20th time.
All right, we got another sum. And now we know what we're going towards next. This objective's theirs.
FPX again, but Doinb in particular. That's the 4th flank he's had. And this one looked better than the rest. The Baron well deserved. And FPX with the 10k gold lead, now it feels like control is 100% theirs.
Yeah, I want to see that in its entirety. Just because that ultimate be able to hit you on the stub of the turret, the wall right next to it, it was actually just so well placed. So easy for them to be able to pick up the members in LNG. And remember the little vision that LNG actually has defensive-wise on the right side of the map, like really came to bite them.
Yeah.
There for so long, ends up being able to nail it.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Plex only just survived. It was a 4-man ultimate.
Both walls being like the prime suspect. Like the fact that LNG ended up getting stunned on 4 people and a Varus ultimate to follow up. It's a surprise more people didn't die off that.
Yeah. That could have been the ace that just completes the game, that pushes it even further for FPX at this point. They've got the Baron. They had the team fight. And now through the side lanes, this is what's so scary about this composition. Kiana up one end, Corky down the other. And this 3-part is just powerful from FPX.
All right, let's see if there's any fighting chance in LNG and their ability to engage. Like, we're talking about how the last series, this kind of team composition around Braum when they're behind doesn't find too many opportunities.
Yep.
The only one we're looking towards is like Plex and SofM being able to find a Sleepy Trouble bubble or an impactful Cataclysm. Let's see if we got something.
This could be the pick that they need to slow things down. Doinb caught out. The ultimate locks him down, and he will
Got
die
him.
immediately. Chris comes on in. The ultimate brings him to the conclusion of a lockdown. LWX hits so damn fast. He's literally deja vu. Asura gets locked down, taken away. The Cataclysm saves the life of Flande and SofM, but GimGoon's looking to end the game.
Just such a smart little play across the map. LNG found a pick. They couldn't find an exit strategy.
And the Corky brings in the minions. I mean, FPX conclude with him as LNG on heaven's door right now. SofM flushes away, but his life secured by GimGoon with a couple of more auto attacks. He'll survive,
Wow.
but to what worth in a Game 1 victory by FPX?
What a game 1 that was. I have not remembered a game 1 that starts in such a ridiculous level 1 and ends off of even more out of nowhere team fights. Like two players really define those team fights. Doinb and Tain. Both of them. Constantly finding flanks. The cask incredibly impactful. A lot of people will come out of this one and say that LWX is the MVP, but yeah, sure, he did a lot of damage. A lot of great poke as well. But it really came down to how those fights were engaged, and he'll come on a deficit on that one because Doinb's insane flank in one of those fights, and a lot of the casks sending either the Karma to her demise, or specifically SofM. This kept happening.
I mean, Tain, the consistency, but more so the willingness to go in and in and in and in and just be unrelenting. Was incredible in that game one.
Because they just knew so much about their own vision. Like, that's what it came down to. My point about, like, essentially, is he ghosting kind of thing is, like, they had that side of the map so well controlled. The only point on the map on that side they didn't have control was right in the blue buff pit. You didn't want to walk in that direction, had a pretty good idea that it was warded. And near the end of the fight, or at least near the end of the game, where that 4-man ultimate from Doinb came through, because he knew that red side jungle hasn't been warded for a long time now. In fact, finally when LNG ended up getting control on that on their end of the map, they didn't want to. They had no incentive to put wards, defensive wards on that side of the map because they knew a lot of the focus is around Baron.
Yeah.
So Doinb recognized that, took advantage of that. Well done from FPX as a whole.
I mean, that's the third game in a row here tonight that red side has been a danger to all.
Yes, it has been.
Like, and Kiana, third game in a row, we've seen Kiana tonight too. But that has just been a very risky place to pass.
Yeah, we don't go to Bankstown, Forest Lawn, but like we don't just start naming them.
Yeah.
If you have a bad neighborhood near you,
Name
that red side. It makes it easier for yourself. You can visualize it. As a player, if you want to get better as a player, you look into that red side jungle. If it's like no wards at all, just call it the boogeyman or something, and you suddenly will improve drastically as a player.
I mean, that was so rough. And Gangster side, you know, Merit aside towards that bottom side jungle. It did start off at 2 minutes in that game, where 3 kills went to FPX.
Yeah.
And sure, LNG brought it back into contention, so props to them. But those 3 kills are definitely helpful.
Yeah, props to specifically Flande and SofM finding that one core weakness, that small opening in the top lane, saying, okay, well, you know, almost got the first kill top lane, knew that the flash was down on the Corki. Let's just go back up top lane repeatedly, force the enemy jungle to respond by either coming top or trade sides of the map.
Yeah.
And if we're trading sides after we just lost 3 kills, of course you're happy about that.
Yeah.
So great way to be able to come back in where most people would say, let's remake scrim, close the screen, go to the next tab.
Here we go again.
They didn't do that.
Flande would have been so happy. I mean, he would have been so happy in that early 40 CS up in the lane. 2 kills to his name as well.
Yeah.
Happy being moderate in comparison to what happened, so you're right.
Yeah, he was doing really well this game. So especially in the early laning phase, what suffered in the previous series, to be fair, it wasn't even his fault in the previous series. He was put in bad situations because he was on the weak side.
Sure.
I think we need to see more strong side Flande.
Yes.
Give him the resources. Makes no sense to have such a talented top laner and to say, let's go to Asura and Duan or Maestro, let's go to the bot side of the map instead. I think that your top side of the map is consistently performing. Then it makes a lot more sense to be able to give them the resources necessary.
Could have been a threat, but the rest of FPX took over. 13 out of 15 turret platings in game 1. We'll see what lands in our lap coming towards game 2.